Blog Talk Radio.
Carol the Coach. Sex, love, and relationships. We talk about it here.
Carol the Coach. Compassion with contemporary relevance.
I am a psychotherapist. I can be your personal life coach, and I can help you with your issues. There are no problems too small or too big. You can talk about anything.
Speaker, columnist, radio TV host, and commentator. Carol the Coach brings messages of wellness and empowerment within reach of everyday people every day.
Almost 5 years ago, I lost my soulmate in an accident. He was killed in a plane crash. Life just, for me, has seemed to stop.
There are groups all over the city. I teach one. It is a specific way to start thinking so that you shift how you see the world, which then shifts your energy, and then you feel better and you actually see things differently.
Carol the Coach. Always available, too, at carolthecoach.com.
Now, I've got Russell on the line.
I'm 47 years old. I'm a truck driver. I'm married. I have a wife in San Francisco.
Okay.
I haven't been home in 6 months. My thing is, I don't know if I have a sex addiction or what the problem is. Why do I want what I can't have? And as soon as I can have it, I don't want it anymore.
You're right on target when you say
target. You're right on target, Russell. And I cut you short because I am sitting in my home. Well, not really. I'm sitting in my car. Got a house full of guests, and I wanted to let you know what's been going on in my life so that you would understand why I'm playing so many replays. I've actually been in Florida for a couple of months, leaning into retiring, doing a little work, and making some choices about when am I going to retire. It is so hard when you don't want to retire, right? I'm not ready, but I also know that I have worked way too long and way too hard to make decisions about my future that don't involve my clients. I want to write. I want to do workshops. I want to do things that I can't do if I'm seeing clients. So I have been struggling with that. And I've been putting this podcast on hold. That's the bad news and the good news. Because I know that you, as my listeners, want to see me achieve even greater things than what we've achieved together, right? And so just know that by the end of October, I will have made some decisions. I'm already in the process of canceling my second podcast. We're looking for a new host as we speak. And this is my oldest podcast, so I'm going to keep this going because I'm trying to figure out what I'm going to do when I grow up. Okay, that being said, as I put this thing together in the car, because I got that whole group of people in my house. I knew it'd be loud. I knew they wouldn't be able to be quiet. I thought I'd talk to you today a little bit about spirituality. Because we can all use a better sense of where we're going in life and how to figure that out, right? That's where I'm at right now. And I must say, I don't know how this is sounding since I'm sitting in the car using my phone as a hotspot. So bear with me. If it doesn't sound good, I'm sorry. I'm trying to be there for you. Now, the truth of the matter is, if you're in good recovery or even not so good recovery, you may wonder how you can get further in your life. And so I'm going to teach you a few rules that I've incorporated from different spiritual healers, some from Gabby Bernstein, some from Wayne Dyer, some from myself. And I'm going to ask you to write these down or to listen to them again so that you really get in touch with what you need. I know that we all pray for things, and I'm really careful about that. I don't want to pray for things that I believe are selfish. I want to save my prayers for things that feel impossible. But the truth of the matter is, when there's something that you want or need in life, I want you to change that need to say, God, you know, what I know to be true is that it is so important for you to know what's on my heart, but to take my life even further than I can do for myself. So in other words, I'm going to ask you to get out of your own way. Give it to God, and then tell yourself, I'm going to let you know what's in my heart and figure out what I can do for the betterment of the world. You know, if you're slipping and sliding and maybe your wife is really upset with you, give it up to God and then say, God, take me a different direction than what I'm doing already. And make it work not just for me, not just for my wife, but make it work for everybody. And if you're single, I want you to say to yourself, God, I so deserve to have more in life. But what I know to be true is that it's so important for me to get out of my own way. You take my life further. Do that. You have to pray for the highest good of all. So that's what I want you to start doing. Praying for the highest good for all, not just for yourself, right? Because you're getting out of your own way. And then, you know, I live by the rule of what you appreciate. It gets bigger, right? Well, the truth of the matter is I want you to focus on what is thriving in your life right now. When you place your focus on what is thriving, betterment of your life, what is already mysterious and magical and a miracle, like getting up in the morning and being alive, or the beautiful blue skies, or those clouds that materialize and show such glory. Or maybe it's just the fact that, you know, as Wayne Dyer says, you get up every morning and you don't tell your fingernails to grow. They just grow because they are part of that internal system. I really want you to focus on what is thriving so that what you appreciate does appreciate. And as you deal with your own struggles, as you deal with wondering what are you going to do in your life, as you deal with a job that's not working, an environment that is not conducive to your own good mental health, I want you to be of the mindset where you say, you know, I know that these obstacles are really detours in the right direction. Well, that is faith at its truest. That is faith at knowing that whatever your obstacle is right now, it is a detour to put you in the right direction. And that usually is spirituality. You know, if you're struggling with an illness, if you've got cancer, if you've got diabetes, if you've got rheumatoid arthritis, you may wonder how in the world could that even be a good thing. This is painful. This is expensive. This has taken me to my knees. This has interfered with my work. But truly, is it connecting you to your higher power? Are you saying to yourself that this is an obstacle that is going to take me to the right direction? Most people, when they deal with a true challenge or an obstacle, they depend on their higher power. That's when they pray. That's when they reveal to others their fears, their vulnerabilities, their feelings. And that is when you are in your truest nature, when you're being honest about what you're afraid of, what you're scared about. That is what's working. And so, I'm going to ask you, the next time you feel like something is insurmountable, would you please look at it as a detour, headed in the right direction? Because what we know is that when you have this kind of wounding, this kind of challenge, wounding is a place for light to enter. And you know what light is? That is your higher power. That is your highest vibrational energy. You know, when Wayne Dyer says there's a spiritual solution to every problem, he believes that because he believes that we can all get to that place. And actually, it was Rumi who said the wound is the place for the light that enters. And so just know that that is absolutely a time for you to know you're at your greatest potential for growth. Now, here's the next thing I want you to do. Bernstein. I was trying to think of her book, but I can't. But she's amazing. Seen her. She's frisky. She's, you know, a younger thought leader, certainly younger than I. Ask for a sign. Please ask for a sign from the universe to tell you you're in the right, you're going the right direction. Get into the guidance and wonder about it. You know, say, God, just give me a sign. I will do my best to listen. I know it is my job to listen, but ask for a sign. Because when you ask the universe for a sign, I promise you, you will get it. You will get that sign because the universe is there to help you know where to go next in your life. And you know, the truth of the matter is that when you ask for a sign, you're really surrendering to your higher power. And you're saying, I know you got this. Help me to get it too. When you think you've surrendered, I want you to surrender more. We all know that that is the toughest challenge in the 12 steps, right? To surrender. Those first 3 steps are all about it. Surrender to your higher power. Know that your life is unmanageable. Know that you can't control it yourself. Know that there's something greater than yourself that'll take you to serenity. So the truth of the matter is, when you're working on surrender, surrender more. And I promise that when you do, that's when the magic happens. That's when you get the signs. That's when you know that you may need to take a different spiritual path. You may need to take a different direction. You can do that. That is within your control, right? So many things are not within our control, within your control. Okay, I hope you write those things down, and I hope you practice that for the next 30 days. A little bit of wisdom from Wayne Dyer, from Gabby Bernstein, from Carol the Coach. And I hope that you could hear me in this podcast. Because I was doing it in the car for you. I was doing this podcast away from everybody else. All right. And as I say at the end of every show, you know, there will only be one of you at all times. Fearlessly have the courage to be yourself. And I'll check back in with you. Sorry about all the repeats, but I've been needing to give myself more time. I'm listening to my own inner guidance. We'll see you next week for more Sex Help with Carol, the Coach.